welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Continuing now, returning to our theme of economic recovery and the program needed to get it. Some very interesting things coming out in the Hill, the Capitol Hill newspaper. Here's an article by a guy called Melman, the Melman Group, and there's a survey done recently about attitudes of the American people towards these issues of economic recovery or not. And this refutes the idea that the majority of the American people are Austrian school reactionaries who hate the idea of a recovery program. And instead, the main focus that emerges from this interesting poll is, or focus group, if manufacturing is not successful, then the U.S. economy is not successful. That for 110 years, the U.S. has led the world in manufacturing output. The biggest emergency we have is not the deficit, it's not spending, it's that the concrete physical production of China is about to pass that of the United States. This is where you declare a state of emergency. The U.S. passed Great Britain in the 1890s, and since then, 110 years in a row, and it's amazing that this has gone on so long with a lot of attacks on manufacturing over the past 3 to 4 decades in particular. The American people still believe if manufacturing is not successful, then the economy is not successful. 20% believe that if manufacturing leaves, we can go into high-tech or services that can take their place. That's 1/5. Those are the dupes. But now the majority, what do they believe? 2/3 believe, 66%, manufacturing is a critical part of the American economy. We need manufacturing if this country and our children are to thrive in the future. We need it. And how should we get it? 40% say any means necessary. We should do whatever it takes to revitalize the manufacturing sector. 47% say government action, yes, especially in incentives and trade policy. Not bailouts and not government takeovers, which is perfectly correct in most instances. They want a wider range of policies in the toolbox labeled trade and incentives. So that would mean a protective tariff as needed, a revenue tariff too, or a combination, a half revenue, half protective tariff, plus incentives, Kennedy investment tax credit, and so forth. But you don't get the incentive tax of the investment tax credit for derivatives or speculation or hedge funds. You get it for plant and equipment that creates U.S. jobs. It's not that people don't care about deficits. They care about jobs more, and they know that the economic future of the United States depends on a strong manufacturing sector. That's an interesting article. Are we no longer number one in The Hill, read by these guys in Congress this week? So that's the direction where we should be going. Now let's get to where we are. The lame duck period, this sinister time that we're now facing, the austerity ghouls, the austerity hyenas are now coming out of the woodwork. Case in point, Butcher Berwick. Obama appoints this thug, this genocidalist, Berwick, to be the head, in effect, of the Medicaid bureaucracy. The guy is a believer in rationing. This is completely inhuman. You cannot save money in a health system by denying people care. That negates your entire civilization. What you've got to do is put money into massive biomedical research programs so you find cures. You cure cancer. You save money that way. You cure heart disease. You save money that way. You cure all of these age-old tormentors of mankind. So this is Berwick. Professor Donald Berwick of Harvard, the guy who says he loves the British National Health Service. Well, the British is one of the worst in Europe. The German one, much better. The German one does not, at least until quite recently, does not emphasize this notion of rationing of care, making people die for the bottom line of the system. So this shows where Obama's heart is. By the way, he said this before, right? He said he had a crisis of conscience about getting a hip replacement for his mother when she already had cancer. Wasn't that a terrible, wasteful thing to do? And isn't it better to get a pill when you could get a pill rather than getting an expensive operation? Obama is a Malthusian with clear genocidal overtones. Let's look in particular at this commission. The Hill, again, interesting issue this week. GOP hawks, and that means deficit hawks as well as warmongers, but in this case mainly deficit hawks. GOP hawks boost Obama's fiscal panel. So this is now Representative Paul Ryan, reactionary Republican from Wisconsin, the leading austerity ghoul of the House Republicans, and Senator Judd Gregg, retiring New England oligarch. They get together. They're from the House and Senate budget committees, and they love Erskine Bowles. And we've talked to you about Erskine Bowles. This is the investment banker from North Carolina, chief of staff in the Clinton White House. During 1997, he was fixing to destroy Social Security with the help of Newt Gingrich, and we can thank our lucky stars and Monica Lewinsky and Clinton's appetites that this did not go through, because once that scandal blew up, those right-wing Democrats, the Democratic leadership types, the Al Fromm caucus, ran for the hills. They ran like scared rabbits. The New Deal Democrats, such as they were, stood and fought off the reactionary Republican impeachment story. Erskine Bowles was the guy who wanted to destroy Social Security back in 1997, as we read in this interesting book, The Pact. So here's what we hear. Ryan, this is the Ryan of the roadmap, right? Roadmap means destroy Social Security, destroy Medicare, destroy Medicaid, destroy unemployment benefits, right? Strip you of everything, flay you alive, leave you nothing but your eyes to cry with, transfer all that money into Wall Street for commissions and to prop up speculation. I like Erskine a lot, says Ryan. He's becoming my new favorite Democrat. He's in the ballpark. We are getting near the target, if that's the case. And Greg says he loves the idea that Erskine Bowles has suggested spending and revenue limits. This is incredibly positive, says Greg. Get spending down and revenues up. That would be very close to a stable situation. Now, these are hyenas who want to feast on the flesh of the American people. Beware of them. Get ready to fight that commission coming out in December 1st. Mobilize against that lame duck commission, the Peterson Commission, coming in December. Back in a minute.